In my third session of Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Nintendo Switch, I gather a bunch of crafting material, open up the museum tent, pay off my house, and do so much more. Subscribe and enjoy the video. Alright, welcome to my third session of Animal Crossing New Horizons. I played a bunch over March 21st and March 22nd, that weekend, Saturday and Sunday. There's a place in town that I kind of constructed this area where, well, if you look at that, I learned how to jump over the water. That's something new that I didn't experience in past Animal Crossing games. But as I was saying, I kind of put all the fish that I had in my inventory that I want to give to Blathers and the museum. I found a location and put them outside. This is kind of clever. And then my spouse was asking me, can I push my my aquarium, my fish containers, can I push them into the water? So I went and gave that a try, and of course you cannot. Again, it's not for a lack of trying, but you know, gotta try. After that, I just knew it was pretty raining this night, so I talked to my neighbor, the Red Horn Dom. I saw that she was having an umbrella, and she gave me an idea of how to make one of those, or I should say, she gave me the idea to make one of those. And I think I needed a bunch of weeds, so I just decided to start collecting the weeds in order to make the umbrella. And then I mad dashed back to Tom Nook's, jumped on the craft table, and sure enough, I needed 15 clumps of weeds, and luckily I have 96 of them, because I'm just an insane weed hoarder. I gotta collect all the weeds in my town, which is a great idea if you're trying to make money, and if you're trying to get Nook Mile rewards, just collect as much as you can. The umbrella, though, is really awesome. Of course, I had to take it for a ride, give it a twirl, give it a spin, and it will protect me from the elements. It's a really cool item, just a aesthetic item, of course. It doesn't really do anything, but it just makes you look really cool. It's a leaf umbrella. What's not to love about that? And of course, afterwards, I needed to make some money, so I decided to go ahead and do some fishing at night. I spotted something out of the corner of my eye on top of a rock, and it looked like it was like a yellow or a glowing snail. And I knew I wanted to capture it, but looking at my inventory, I found out I did not have a net at that time. So of course I needed to go back to Tom Nook's, or at least the resident services, in order to either craft or buy another net. First check the crafting table to see if I can make it, but I saw that I only had 2 tree branches when 5 was needed, and the rest of my town at this day I picked up all the tree branches, so I couldn't get any more. So then that's when I went and checked Timmy's stock to see how much it cost to make, or I should say, to buy a flimsy net, and it was 400 bells. So I went out, made some more money, and of course got up to 2,510 bells, and then went ahead and sold even more fish, some dabs, loaches, whatever I had in my inventory, just to get that little buffer. You know, I don't want to go too low. I don't want to spend all my money right now. So I decided to go fish, sell some stuff before I purchased the net. And again, this was all just because I wanted whatever that heck I saw on top of those stones. But before I left Timmy's, I did check out his inventory and saw that there's a DIY for beginners recipe book. I really recommend you buying this. It's not that expensive. Go fish, go sell, you know, a couple, 100 weeds and learn the recipes. Buy the recipe book and learn those recipes. You may not use them, but they're kind of just cool little things. But there you go. You have like the ocarina, you have some wooden toy blocks, you have a wash tub, you have a stone stool, you have a hay bed, and I think you even have like a skillet. There's just a bunch of just basic things that you can put into your home. And that comes with the DIY beginners. And, you know, it's up to you if you want to purchase it. If you don't, I mean, that's fine as well. And before leaving the resident services, I realized I can take off the clothes that I'm wearing. So I decided just to go around with my undershirt, with my tank top, and then I even took off my pants. I'm like, you know what, it's a little too cold out there. I don't want to scare off my villagers as well. I need to be healthy when it's raining, and I also don't need to scare off everyone with my, you know, lack of clothing. So I dashed back home and wanted to kind of organize my room. I have my Nintendo Switch up. Of course, I have my radio, I have my lamp, I have my bed, but I no longer wanted to wear my Simple Dots tee. And that was definitely going to either go on my wall, which I learned you can't place those on the tent walls, or I would just place them somewhere inside the room. I started at the foot of my bed, but I didn't think that really looked too good. Plus I wanted easy access to my bed if I wanted to kind of hop in and go around it. I already have my switch kind of blocking off my bed a little bit, so I decided to push and pull my shirts all around the room. I had an alto saxophone. I don't know where I got that. I think I might have shaken a tree. If you don't shake your trees, you really need to, because that's when you can find all sorts of things. Items will fall out of it. Furniture will fall out of it. I mean, I know it's crazy. People putting furniture up the trees, that's kind of weird. But hey, at least if you find it, it's finders keepers. Afterwards, I went back to the beach, did some more fishing, got a horse mackerel, saw that my fishing rod just exploded in my hand. Because of course, when you're using the flimsy tools, that's what's going to happen after a certain amount of uses. They will explode, apparently. I also found a bottle with a message inside of it somewhere on the beach. I had to fish it out, and I believe I fished it out, or maybe I just found it. It doesn't matter, because I finally found the snail on top of the stone and was able to catch it. And it was just a regular snail. That's all, but it looks really cool during the nighttime. It kind of glows to me. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, between the bottle, the snail, and figuring out that I can remove my clothing, I think that this was a good day so far. And playing at night for the first time was very interesting. And not only at night, it was also raining for the first time. So it was just a lot of cool environmental features that I really wanted to see. I also got a chance, and I'm not sure if I did this in the last session, but I planted the flowers did Tom Nook give me flowers? I don't remember, but I planted 5 flowers next to my tent, got a watering can and started watering those, but of course when it's raining you don't have to do that. And again, more and more trips back to the resident services just to clear out my inventory. I mean, of course I can find stations around my village just to pile these up, but I don't want to junk up my town too much, and that's why I make frequent stops back to resident services. Of course, every single day, you gotta check that recycling bin. You never know what you're gonna find in the past Animal Crossing games. Of course, you're gonna find furnitures, clothing, and even junk sometimes. But what really got my attention was KK's song in the Nook shopping feature on the machine to the bottom right corner of the resident services. That's where you can spend money on all these cool different items. And I'm finding that some of these items, if not all the items, are changing day to day. So on this first day of seeing this, I really wanted KK song, because I was wondering, where is KK Slider? Like, am I going to be able to hear this awesome dog play his rad tunes, or am I just going to have to buy them from a machine? And so for the first day, I decided just to buy it from the machine, but it would take 1 day to get it to me in the mail. So that's where the songs come from, if you're wondering. At least at this point in the game, you can order them through the machine, and then they will come to you, I think, a day later in your mailbox. I don't know. Afterwards, I was just running around town, and then just playing around in my bedroom, going crazy with the saxophone. I mean crazy with the saxophone. That was pretty much my Saturday the 21st. Get really naked, take off all my clothes. Look at me, I'm a cute little boy. In my underwear, time to go to sleep. But yeah, my first night playing Animal Crossing was a lot of fun. But here is my message in a bottle. It was a DIY recipe stuck in a bottle from Leopold. He says he's a DIY icon. So I had a wooden full-length mirror. And if you find a message in a bottle, it's as simple as that. You click on it, you read the message, and then the recipe will just be there in your inventory inside the bottle. Click on it, learn the recipe, head back to the resident services, and then you can check out the item, like I'm doing right now, the wooden full-length mirror. And it takes items to create, all items do in the crafting. And of course, that ended my Saturday, and now we're into Sunday the 22nd. I started playing it for the first time, and Tom Nook comes on screen and tells me about how Blathers has come to my town of Waltopia. Finally, we're going to have some sort of museum entity in our village. But at the very beginning, I decided to check my mail and get the KK song that I ordered the day previous. So it does take 1 day in the morning. When you start playing, you will get the message or envelope, you will get the gift delivered. All I did was go up into my radio, and I tried to put my song in there, but then I learned, oh, crud, I don't think I can put my song in the radio. I am going to have to wait later until I get some sort of music player, CD player, jukebox, I don't know, but at the very least, I'm starting to order these songs so that I can stockpile them for the future, and I can have a database in the making. And now the day is very beautiful. This Sunday morning was just gorgeous. It was no longer raining. The sun's out. It's just an awesome spring day for me to pick up as many weeds as possible and to sell them. There is Nook Mile rewards for almost everything in this game. Like, you get miles for selling hundreds and hundreds of weeds. I kid you not. Like, go ahead and do that yourself. And that's one of the easiest things to do, because weeds, they restock. No, they come back every single day. That's what I'm looking for. They restock every day. They're not merchandise. They come back every single day, and so as the tree branches you find on the ground. And fun fact, if you need more tree branches and you don't see any more laying on the ground, shake trees that don't have fruits in them, because tree branches can also fall out of trees. But so can wasp nests or hornet nests. I mean, a bunch of things can fall out of trees, but give that a shot. After I was done doing all of that, I finally wanted to see the museum. I wanted to meet Blathers, an owl that has a staple to Animal Crossing. I love to see him return. It's a pleasure for him to meet me. He is in this new ecosystem of my island, and he knew who I was. I'm the one that helped Tom Nook, and Tom Nook then arranged the phone call to contact Blathers. And he just told me that he wants to really create a museum here. We're going to be able to donate insects and fish, also fossils. And eventually, after we give him a certain amount of items, he will then get the permission to open up a proper, larger, fully formed museum building. But he needs, I believe, 15 items. We need 15 different bugs and insects, and I believe fossils, and we have to donate that to him before he will open up the new museum. Thing is, fossils are only up north, and you kind of need access to that. You need to be able to hop over the river in order to get to the fossils. But luckily for him, he told us to get our Nook phone out, and he gave us the recipe to make an item that allows us to hop over the river. And that item is a vaulting pole, and you use a lot of wood, or you use some wood, in order to make one of those. At this point, shovels and a vaulting pole are necessary to get those fossils to submit to Blathers. But the other thing that caught my interest was these glowing light coming from the ground, and I assumed at first that was the fossils, but then I had to dust off my Animal Crossing knowledge, and my spouse said maybe that is bells, maybe that's some money. And sure enough, I don't think I have footage of this, but I did get a shovel, and I was able to dig up one of these lights, and in order to find, I think, 1,000 bells. So if you see those lights in the ground, and if you have a shovel, definitely dig them. If you don't have a shovel yet, don't worry, you get it pretty soon earlier on in the game. You will get that recipe, so you're able to dig up money, literally. So then I decided to go back to the resident services, talk to Tom Nook, and talk to him about my moving fees. At this point, after doing all these different tasks around town, I have accrued over 5,000 Nook miles, and finally, Tom Nook has allowed me to pay for my moving fees. And I paid them in full, leaving me with just a couple thousand of Nook miles left for me to do other things, and I felt really excited. It only took like 3 days, or from Friday to Saturday, Friday to Sunday, in order to pay off my very first fees in this game, which is awesome. I feel like I am progressing pretty fast so far. And I know a lot of people probably did this on the first night, but I didn't really have a lot of time to play, launch day. But I did get in on Sunday and was able to do this. And, more new things became available. He asked us, what kind of color roof we wanted. He wanted to know if we wanted to upgrade. He started being super Tom Nooky, telling like, hey, it's gonna cost more money. Hey, it's zero financing. But he sweetened the pot by giving us a Miles Redemption Awards program. When we access the Nook Stop, we'll be able to trade in our Nook Miles for items. He asked about my tent, and I'm thinking, you know what? I need a bigger space. But it's going to cost 98,000 bells. I didn't have to think about it. I just jumped right in. And here's the even better part. He upgrades our Nook Mile program to a plus feature. And that is super awesome. Like the Nook Miles Plus benefits, it just blew my mind. Like, I didn't even think that this was coming. I thought the Nook Miles was awesome as it was, just like quests that you can complete. And in the back of my head, I said, man, one day, I don't know if it's 6 months from now, a week from now, or a year from now, where we would complete all the Nook Miles. I needed more. I wanted more. But with Nook Miles, with the plus, our rank has increased. And now we can use the Nook Miles plus service, which is super, super great. It makes it easier for us to earn miles as we go about enjoying island life, doing what we're already going to do. Now, if we're going to look at the top of the screen, there is a plus and some more quests. Daily quests. Not even just daily. As soon as you finish one of these, like if you complete DIY projects or cast, a dace or a fish, that will give you whatever the number it says. So 150, 200, 200, whatever it is, you will get that amount of rewards. And the ones with ×2 next to it, you'll get double that. But as soon as you finish it, a new one will come in. So that's endless supply of Nook Miles every single day. I mean, that's just so cool that we're able to make Nook Miles just like that. Like, they're so generous with this, and I'm glad. I thought it was going to be a lot harder to accrue these points, but apparently it's not. But here, basically, is the feature that I wanted to kind of mention to you. Buy the tool ring. If you are using any tools, or more than one, buy the essential tool ring. It makes switching between your tools so much easier. It is something I've been wanting so long in the Animal Crossing series, and to finally have this feature is just downright amazing. It's like I learned how to easily switch tools. When I'm outside, I can press up to use the tool ring. Up on your directional buttons will pull up the ring, and you can easily switch with the analog stick, the left analog stick I should say, to the tool you want to use. And it's pretty convenient and simple, and you can register different tools. And there you go. Like, that's all you have to do. Up, and then point at which one you want to use. And I have 2 extra slots. It's not hard. Like, the old way was just you have to press left and right and cycle through every single one. But this one, I can jump from shovel to, to umbrella to the net, anything I want. And that is my 3rd session of Animal Crossing New Horizons for Nintendo Switch. Let me know in the comments what you thought about my adventure in this video. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble, and I will see you in the next video.